Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Brad.
Jay, I think that this week might be the happiest you and I have been doing this show in the last 53 weeks.
A single night of hope. There it is. The first one since fucking January 20th of this year.
No, not even. I'm going back to the last election day.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay. Those couple of months were still dread. Just existential dread. Look, to say I am pretty happy with the results from Tuesday's special election. I think I can speak for both of us and say that we are over the moon about it. It could not have gone better. I mean, it really couldn't have.
I mean, quite literally could not have gone better. There was not a single high profile GOP win that I heard about, at least anywhere. No. And in fact, several upsets, seats being flipped that hadn't been flipped in one case, decades, scores, even
one case, in a century.
Yeah. I mean, you had once again, the fucking, pundit media having no clue what they're talking about in major gubernatorial races, in both directions. I would say,
yes.
We have redistricting's on the table now, boys, in a couple states, not just California.
Absolutely.
And it's so bad that there is one honest Republican out there who is calling a spade and told it like it was, in his view of the outcome of Tuesday. Shockingly, Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're not wrong. It is really wild that even he's like, those guys really fucked up. Like he's not going to take.
That's the irony is that he is right, but he's right for the wrong reasons. Like he's right because he's saying it because he doesn't want to be blamed for the fact that it got so royally fucked up. In fact, it's going as far to say, most people said that the whole reason that we lost is because I wasn't running. Even though technically you were, even if you didn't realize it, Donald Trump.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, right? Watching there were obviously the big races everyone cared about, right? That we've talked about sort of incessantly, which is like the New York City mayoral race. That was obviously a big one. The governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia were huge. And we'll talk about all of those and they're, very, very important races. But I think there's this really weird narrative, especially coming from the right, about how this evening doesn't matter. Right. It's not indicative of anything, which is a really weird argument to take because it's not about, Fox News and these conservative outlets are like, well, Democrats won in blue areas. So duh, of course they would. Right. New York being the big one. But you guys spent the last number of months telling us that Mamdani couldn't win because he was a filthy democratic socialist or just a communist, as they would say, because they don't really know the difference. So you said he couldn't win. And then your guy, the biggest gun you have, endorsed his direct opponent. And he still won. So, okay. But then you
not only won, by the way, but won with an outright majority, because I know the right was waiting to pounce on the fact they're like, well, he only won because Sliwa was in the race, and if Sliwa had dropped out like he should have, then Cuomo would have beat him. No, Zohran Mamdani took more than 50% of the vote, so he won by more than a Curtis Sliwa against Andrew.
One Sliwa, he was more than one Sliwa away. But the other aspect of that. I heard Mike Johnson, who is just really just firing up the line as being just one of the worst politicians in the country. Mm-hmm. I really mean that. He went on television during a press conference to, be like, hey, Republicans, don't worry. Everything is totally fine, but slightly panic. Please slightly panic, right? He went on and said that Mamdani only won 1 million votes. And as everyone knows, there's 8 million people who live in New York. And he's like, see, that's not a lot. He's literally like, this is the thing where you like pretend to be stupid for your audience, right? Mike Johnson knows that because, contrary to popular belief, while he is, politically craven, he's not a complete and utter idiot. He is aware that no one has gotten 1 million votes as a mayoral candidate since 1969. He knows this, but he's trying to talk this shit up to his constituents who don't know this, who don't read, who don't follow this stuff very well. Mamdani getting over 1 million votes isn't a small thing. It's a massively huge thing. And I know this not just because it hasn't been done since 1969, but because there were literal articles written days going into the race going, oh shit, with early voting, it looks like Mamdani might break this thing that we haven't seen since 1969. That would be amazing. That's the only reason why I knew about it before election night. Like, I was like, no one's gotten 1 million votes. They're like, no, dude, like that's just not that common. And sure enough, when he broke the 1 million votes, I was like, oh shit, he did it. And then Mike Johnson's like, is it really a big deal? Like, yeah, it actually super was a big deal. But I say all that to say what I always say about the Republican Party. If you're so right, why do you have to lie? Right? Like if you were so correct about 1 million votes not being a big deal in New York, why'd you lie about it? Like you could have just not brought that up, by the way. Like you could have just not said that. Like no one knows how many votes he got, right? Like no, oh, he won or he didn't win. Like that's all people know. The other aspect of the New York race that I think is funny, and we're going to talk more about that race because it's fascinating. I talked about this on the preview episode for Black and Black Cinema. It's a little funny history thing. So in 77, Mario Cuomo ran for mayor of New York after being governor of New York State. Right? He was like, I'm going to run for mayor, right? Which is hilarious. Like the city is way more important than running the entire state, which is just hysterical to me. He's like, I'm running. And at the time, he was obviously running, going to run on the Democratic side. At the time, Ed Koch was running as well. And Ed Koch was like, nah, motherfucker, I'm gonna be the mayor of New York, New York City. And Ed Koch beat Mario Cuomo in the primary. Mario Cuomo was like, I don't like taking no for an answer. Let me know if you've heard this story before. He decided that he was going to run on the Liberal Party ticket, right? So it was Ed Koch, Mario Cuomo, and whatever fucking Republican that nobody gives a shit about, right? The Sliwa of his day, so to speak. And Mario Cuomo lost to Ed Koch, but it's not so much important that he lost to Ed Koch. It's by how much. Ed Koch beat him by almost the exact same as Mamdani beat Andrew Cuomo. It's like 51, 51 to 42 or whatever it was that Cuomo got. Like it's almost exactly a match. Literally just about 50 years prior, it's the exact same fight, and they both lost.
So what you tell me is Andrew Cuomo didn't bother being a student of history. No. I guess in this particular case.
Look, they say history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it does in fact rhyme, and that is a pretty good way to end his political career. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, I thought it was a good race. I thought Mamdani did a good job. I mean, I saw Van Jones.
He did an amazing job. I mean, it's. I can't, and again, like he was certainly the right man for the right moment in the right city to win this race for sure. But that still doesn't understate how good of a job he did. Because again, like remember too that because he is a democratic socialist, because he's brown, because he is an immigrant, because of all these things, he had to be like much like Obama. Like he has to work. He had to work twice as hard.
Yep.
Because any mistake that he made, any gaffe that he made, would be magnified, and it just goes to show you how good of a race he ran. When the biggest thing, the biggest scandal that they tried to hit him with, is the fact that he called like his cousin, like he had a family member who was his a distant cousin who he called auntie, and people were like, oh, like he said his aunt was harassed by people in the city after 9/11, but it was actually his cousin, and all that led to his people who were just like, yeah, okay, like it's not uncommon, especially in non-white families, to call elder family members who might not be your actual like like aunt or uncle, auntie or uncle. And by the way, white people all the time, like a lot of times, like your best friend's kids will call you like, you know, aunt or uncle as well, even though
everyone does this. Look, here's the thing: the only people who don't do this are WASPs. That's it.
That's true.
That's it. Like I remember seeing like my nephew calls like he's my wife's cousin's son. He refers to us as my wife and I as like auntie and uncle, right? Like, and he's in medical school, but he's younger than us, right? So it's just just culturally, that's just how they refer to each other, which is fine. By the way, this, like you said, this happens in every culture except for WASPs. Okay, like it just 100%. And I love that, like these waspy assholes in New York are like, no one does that. No, you don't do that. Like the rest of the entire planet does this. You don't do it. And I remember hearing comedian Stavros Halkias, who's Greek, like very Greek. He was like, everyone thinks that their group is like super unique. Like, oh, we talk loud. Oh, we eat a lot of food. Whatever. He goes, he's like, that's every culture except for WASPs. He's like, that's how stupid and dominant they are, that they think like we live by these weird like waspy rules that we all think we're on the outside. It's like, no, we're the normal ones. You guys are the fucking weirdos, and there's 9 of you. So the auntie uncle thing was like why anyone jumped on that. Like that was laughably out
because it's all they had. Because it's all they had. Like that's literally the only thing that they could pin on him.
And the globalize the intifada was a thing they desperately tried to hang around his neck, but it doesn't really work. Like it's hard to make people think that he hates Jews like he's some evil like anti-Semite. He just doesn't want to see people getting killed in a fucking genocide. That's right. It. Now, should he maybe have used different language? You could say, well, maybe, it is often used in this way of like this sort of very anti-Semitic, statement or whatever. Sure, you are allowed to hit him on that. But it's not really going to stick when especially his entire constituency is like, yeah, we're kind of done with the whole supporting genocide thing. It just doesn't land for him. It just doesn't. I'm sure it landed for some New York Jews. That's certainly true if you look at the maps of like the Upper East Side and stuff like that. But not enough.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yep. So again, like I said, he ran a perfect campaign. And the lesson that I hope Democrats take for this, and they won't because they never do. But I mean, who knows? It might be a new day. I mean, we have lots of stuff to talk about as far as changes in the Democratic Party. But remember that this guy was polling in single digits back in January of this year. Nobody knew who he was. And the thing that landed him on the map in New York politics and nationally is when he was at the courthouse during, the ICE immigration, trials that they were trying to do to get people around the country, getting in Tom Homan's face, basically. Like that's what he was caught doing. And so, and that's what, rocketed him to recognition, and it got people to pay attention to him. And then, his social media campaign started doing a great job, and, he was the TikTok candidate basically. But again, you and I have been saying for years that people want fighters. People want to go out and vote for people that are fighting for them. And it's one of the reasons why Donald Trump, despite his numerous faults, was somehow able to win, election twice and has been the nominee the last 3 presidential elections for the Republican Party, because despite the fact that he's a fucking senile dullard, he's able to trick people into thinking that he's the guy you want in office because he's going to fight for the things that you want.
Yeah.
No, and
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Trump, like you said, Trump is a fighter, or at least he comes off as being one, right? Mm-hmm. And I would argue he is. I would argue, though, that his fighting for his constituents, or his supporters rather, are based in lies, right? Like,
mm-hmm. No, they are. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Like, it's not a genuine fight. Like, he's not trying to fight to make their lives better. He's fighting to get their votes, and then sucker them into supporting him while he just fucking pillages the city, or the country. So, but to your point, yeah, people want fighters. I mean, I saw Van Jones on CNN. I deeply regret ever watching it. Thanks, Mike, piece of shit, for sending it. Van Jones came out and was like, right after, like, this was the night he gave his acceptance speech, and he's like, Mamdani did a great job, it was a great campaign, and all this other stuff. But this speech was so much like sharper and like biting, sort of like,
sure.
And it was a little bit more sort of in your face, and it wasn't as warm and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking he's like, and he's taking sort of this like fighter's kind of posture, and all I can hear, like, they're interspersing Van Jones' stupid ass words with Mamdani's speech, and right before Jones says all of this, they play the clip. And Mamdani says, like, Donald Trump, I got 4 words for you. By the way, it should have been 2 words. Suck it. Come on. It's what are we even doing? But he was like, turn the volume up, which is, look, that's a great dig. Like, you fucking old man, get out of here. But then he says something that, to me, is like the most New York thing of all time. Mm-hmm. He basically says, to just kind of paraphrase, he was like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. I was like, Spider-Man, I know that line. Everybody knows that line. That's a fucking New York. You got to say that in a Spider-Man movie. It happens. But it works because that is how New Yorkers are normally portrayed, which is if you've ever been to New York City, if you haven't, you should go. New York is a fucking cornucopia of people, man. Short, tall, black, white, fucking in every color in between, different ages, different cultures, all of that shit. But when it comes down to it, they're all still New Yorkers. Even if they drive each other fucking crazy, when people talk shit about New York, they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, the Muslim lady in the burqa is like holding back the fucking Italian guy, and then the Yankees have like, hey, these are my people, right? Like, but that's just how New Yorkers are. They just are that way. Mamdani embodying that, and Van Jones is like, oh, this just seems so gross. Then you missed what the fuck this is. And also, I don't like the idea that Democrats always have to play like, oh, they always have to be soft, and yes, Donald Trump would like to work with you. You spent the last number of months calling this guy a fucking every name in the book. He's been nothing but he's been fucking brushing his shoulders off, just keeping on message. Yeah, he took 2 seconds to fucking kick you in the teeth a little bit and then go back to his job. I got no problem with that. I don't understand the need for Democrats to always need to be portrayed as we have to be so kind and,
I would argue it's to our benefit to not be that way anymore. Again, like the posture 100%. Of the right has been that of opposition and of we're going to fucking do what we want to do whether you like it or not. Cool, man. You've engendered that in us as well. So yeah, so fuck you. He also, took a dig at Cuomo reportedly because Cuomo did not call to congratulate him or to offer a concession formally to Mamdani because I guess he was in his fucking feelings. So he's like, good. He's like, guess what? I hope I never have to fucking say this guy's name again. Yeah. Go to Florida, you crusty bitch.
Yeah, I mean, look, in fairness, he should never have to say his name. I beat you twice. Okay, like. Right. Like we're off to doing real shit. So look, I think Mamdani is taking the exact right angle. His transition team is he did a thing that you would do if you were like Muammar Gaddafi. all women team guarding him as he proceeds to transition into the mayoral office. So yeah, he has an all woman transition team, which, you know what, that's cool. I think that's kind of fun. I do like the fact that he chose the former FCC head under Biden, who people are fucking terrified of, Lena Khan. Yeah, people are like, corporations do not like Lena Khan because she's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, they were super. They were. I mean, I remember when Trump got elected, the one thing they were worried that they would retain her because like the Vance wing of the party is also kind of like, you know, anti-monopoly kind of stuff. So they were worried that they'd keep her on, and I think they were throwing money at them to make sure that did not happen. So.
Please, for the love of God, I remember Jon Stewart interviewed Lena Khan a couple of months ago. And he interviewed her a couple months on the Daily Show, but when he was doing his Apple show, he was referring, like on the Daily Show, he was referring to when he was doing it on Apple, that they would not let him interview her on the show. Like they were like, you're not allowed to talk to her. That's how terrified they were of Lena Khan. Like, no, like say real shit on TV, and like that's fucking our money up. Absolutely not. You're not allowed to even look. Don't even type Lena Khan in email, for the love of God. So yeah, she's heading his transition team, which I think is a big deal.
And as far as New York Democrats go, I don't know if you saw this, and this, you know, this to me is the starkest contrast of the old guard and the new guard. So, you know, Chuck Schumer voted, of course, because he's a New York City resident, refused to say who he voted for.
Coward.
And he didn't endorse Mamdani, so we know that he voted for Cuomo. Yep. And he just doesn't want to get called out on it. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries got there eventually. I mean, it was a very
like the day before
right. It was a very milk toast endorsement, but he did at least publicly do that. So
both of you should be kicked out of your fucking leadership seats.
Don't worry. I'm pretty sure come 2028, Chuck Schumer is going to be finding a new career.
Yeah, no, he's definitely done. But Hakeem Jeffries should lose that seat. Like, I mean, look, I don't care if you want to kick him out of Congress altogether, but he should certainly lose the speakership. No, I'm not interested.
Oh, run a primary up against him. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm fine with him being primaried and booted for somebody who actually is going to get in there and fight. But if not that, he should certainly lose his leadership position. Like, I no thanks. I don't need somebody. If you guys get the House, you need somebody that's head of the House that is going to be a fighter, right? You're not going to get a bunch of progressives in there and people are super excited, and then you're going to be a fucking milquetoast ass leader. No. Like, we need somebody who's really going to put boots to asses. So Hakeem Jeffries, you have proven that you are not it. No, thank you. So next up in the many great stories of Tuesday night, Virginia and New Jersey governorships, they both go to Democrats. Virginia went to Abigail Spanberger, and Mikey Sherrill won in New Jersey.
So
both
this
of
was
them
super
largely bloodbaths, which is pretty great.
So this was super interesting because both of these races were obviously, you know, looked at very heavily. New Jersey, Phil Murphy had been the governor for 2 terms, so there was a Democrat who had been in the seat prior. In Virginia, it was Glenn Youngkin, who was a Republican. Spanberger is a more centrist-leaning Democrat.
Yes.
And Sherrill is a little bit more progressive, not a full-blown progressive, but definitely more, to the left than Spanberger was. And Republicans looked at New Jersey as a real potential opportunity for them to flip this seat. And the media was talking about like, hey, like it's going to be razor thin. Like it's going to be like if Sherrill wins, it's going to be by like 2 or 3 points. And they looked at Spanberger and they said, obviously she has a much better chance. One reason is because her Republican opponent, was a fucking idiot.
No, she's insane. She's insane.
Yeah. So that was number one. But they were also lauding, well, she's a little bit more she's a bit more to the center, and I think that's what the electorate wants right now. And in the end of the day, both of them won by like 13 to 15 points in both races, which just goes to show you, don't believe anything you fucking hear.
Well, and you know the interesting thing about the Virginia race, the Abigail Spanberger victory, is that Glenn Youngkin won that governorship a couple of years ago by like 1 point or less than a point. Like you said, she won, I think, by 13 points. It's a 14-point swing, man. Like that's a big
every single county in Virginia compared to 2024 moved at least 5 points left. And the biggest moves in both Virginia and New Jersey, especially counties that are like mostly Hispanic, that a lot of them went for Trump in 2024. Basically moved by like 30 to 40 points. In case you wonder how that's going.
Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, I'm about to say, wonder if there's some buyer's remorse from a lot of those voters from last year.
Hey, so maybe the next time when we're telling you that these guys don't fucking like you and they're or they're placating to you, it's not real, and you should not believe them, and stop thinking that just because you came from a country that says that it was run by, you know, socialists or whatever, that's not the same as Democrats in this country because they're more to the left of center than Republicans. Maybe next time you'll believe us. But by the way, I'm sorry that your friend and your family has been destroyed and broken up and you're living in fear for the next 3 years. But again, I'd just like to let you know, maybe listen next time. And I'm not trying to talk down to folks who did that. I'm just trying to let you know that stop believing a bunch of bullshit. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's bizarre to me. And this is just like my own personal aside. You, like, Latin folks who are, especially like newer immigrants, right? Whether you came, quote unquote, the right way or not, I don't give a shit. But you guys are the minority of the moment. This face, we've been here since the beginning. If the people who've been here a long time, people of color, telling you don't trust those motherfuckers, take a second to listen. Like, oh no, black people are different. Sure we are. Sure we are. Okay, and then see how they treat you. And this is how. Well,
and to your point, like it's
don't give a fuck about.
See a lot of interviews with a lot of Hispanic folks that, like you said, did come over here legally and, you know, are citizens and stuff like that. And they also have a negative view of people who come over, without, not through the proper channels. But here's the thing. ICE ain't checking citizenship papers first. They're going to knock you down and put you in a fucking van first, and then they'll sort it out later on.
Right.
And you have people from the administration who are like, they're just like, hey, like, you know, you're rounding up a bunch of U.S. citizens that came here the right way. And those people are coming out being like, yeah, we'll get rid of those guys too. Like, we don't care.
They don't give a shit. I mean, look, if you ask Governor fucking Hot Wheels down in Texas, he's going to, quote, tariff people moving from New York to Texas. What the fuck sense does that make?
Explain to me how that works, but okay.
Yeah. It was like, is this a real story? Like, what the fuck? I was talking to Terrence about that yesterday. He was like, I thought that was a story from The Onion. Like, I didn't think that was a real story. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're right, it doesn't. Because, like, they don't give a shit. By the way, before we get a little bit further into the show about things from Tuesday night, Texas passed, they had a memorandum on the ballot that people not born in the country, they can't vote. And so that passed. I just want to
good
position.
Finally somebody's doing something about
the Lord's work.
Right.
Okay.
Idiots.
It's like Andy was like, oh shit, they're gonna pass a new law. You need a license to drive. Like, this is crazy. How do they do it? How do they come up with this? So Democrats sweep all 30 House of Delegates seats in Northern Virginia, flipping 13 seats statewide. It's not good. They now have a supermajority of 64 out of the 100 seats of the House of Delegates. Yikes. Good luck to all.
Maybe it was a bad idea to lay off a bunch of federal workers who live in Northern Virginia, and then to also have a government shutdown going on while the elections were happening. Weird how how things that happen end up backfiring on you. Strange.
How was I supposed to know there would be consequences to my act? Not some sort of magician. Coors California passed Prop 50, which paves the way for them to gerrymander the fuck out of that state to combat Republicans' horseshit. It won by like 16 points or some shit like that, maybe even more.
Good.
Shout out to that Prop 50 for one very special reason, which is they called that shit the second the polls closed. They were like, I've seen it. Like immediately. That's how bad California
I was laughing because I caught a clip of Brian Tyler Cohen was on CNN with the woman who was, I guess, leading the anti Prop 50 effort, essentially. And she was saying, like, you know what it should be, and you know what I think we should do is just have an independent redistricting committee, like decide on the maps and stuff like that. And Brian Tyler Cohen's like, do you think that? Is that something you think? Because guess what? In 2021, Democrats proposed to do that in like nationwide. And guess how many Republicans voted for it? 0. So do you actually believe that? Or are you just saying it because you're about to get a taste of your own fucking medicine?
Yep, exactly. Look, they tried to warn you. They told you, come to the table.
We've been warning you. How long have you and I been banging the drum to fucking fight fire with a flamethrower when it comes to gerrymandering?
Yeah, no. Look,
it's the only way you're going to get them to pay attention.
Yep, and look, it's either everything gets gerrymandered to shit, and we just get to a fucking stalemate, or the Supreme Court goes, hey guys, I think this might be getting out of hand. Spoiler alert, it's well out of hand. So maybe fucking
John Roberts comes out in the hot dog suit. we're all trying to find the guy.
Yeah.
The guy who did this.
Like, I'm pretty sure you're part of the team that fucked this up. Wrong. like, not me. You know what?
And by the way,
get out of here.
By the way, another combatant has entered the gerrymandering ring. Now that Virginia has this fancy governing trifecta, now they're talking about getting in on the gerrymandering mix.
Rig it up.
I love this. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yep, absolutely. Look, this is the only way you're going to learn your lesson. And I do love that woman's response. Maybe we should have an independent panel. No shit. You know what? I like that idea. Why don't you go to your Republican friends and have them talk about it? And you get back to me when they decide that that's cool. We can all do it. We'll hold hands and we'll all do kumbaya together. No problem. It shouldn't be hard. Like, I don't even understand why we're having this conversation in 2025.
And it's so funny because, again, like, there are some Republicans that are out there trying to pretend like what's going on in Texas and what's going on in Florida is like specific to those states or whatever. And then you have Donald Trump and Mike Johnson literally out here just saying, well, you know, I think we'll have a good midterm next year with the extra seats that we'll pick up through redistricting. I'm just like, oh, you guys are just saying it. Okay, cool.
I mean, at a certain point, why even hide it?
Sure. I mean, I get it. I totally understand it.
But it is hilarious that even they're just like, yeah, no, we're trying to cheat our way into keeping the House. Like, it's pretty obvious. But it is funny when you hear like regular voters respond, you know, like repeat that. It's like, are you just not listening to anything? Like, how are you in on the gerrymandering conversation at all? And you have no idea what's happening nationwide. Like, it's very bizarre. No one has more complaints about the Democratic Party while not knowing what the Republican Party is doing than Republican voters. Like, they just have, amazing. Next up, you know, from the Prop 50 passing, a coalition of California Republicans filed a lawsuit Wednesday challenging Governor Gavin Newsom's recently approved redistricting effort and an immediate attempt to thwart Democratic gerrymandering plan just hours after the resounding win. The The lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California claims the state's move to redraw the congressional lines is unconstitutional and violates the 14th and 15th Amendments for redistricting on the basis of race, quote, specifically to favor Hispanic voters without cause or evidence to justify it. While the Constitution entrusts states with designing congressional districts, the Supreme Court has also held that the state may not, without a compelling reason backed by evidence, that was in fact considered, separate citizens into different voting districts on the basis of race. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's precedent from this Supreme Court that basically says, like, hey, no, this is okay, actually, because racism is over. We don't even need the Voting Rights Act anymore. So, cool. Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah, I don't see this. I don't see this passing, certainly in California. Now, will it get pushed up to the appellate court or to the Supreme Court? Perhaps, but to your point, the Supreme Court is like, we don't give a shit. Now, will they possibly do some horseshit carve out because, like,
I mean,
sure, maybe
they might try, but I could also see Gavin, even if they did it, Gavin Newsom pulling a Trump and be like, all right, cool, that's your ruling. Now enforce it. Fuck you, make me.
Yeah. You know what? He's actually the exact person you want in that fight too. Because he just be like, I don't give a shit. Like, this isn't fair. May I offer you eat my balls? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, who cares? Like, we're doing it anyway. Like, yeah, he's actually the perfect person for that. You need a prick. I'm glad it's him. Because I feel like JB Pritzker would be like, guys, okay, like, try to be a nice guy. Nah, not Gavin Newsom. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna. I mean,
fuck. Remember when they told Alabama, like, hey, like, your gerrymandered map is too racist even for us, and Alabama was like, yeah, we're still gonna do it anyway. Like, that's gonna fucking happen.
Who you gonna send down here? Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna arrest us? No. All right. Well, take the bread out of the oven. Who gives a shit? So yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere. And yes, I agree with you. I think Gavin Newsom would just be like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Because the Supreme Court doesn't believe in the law anyway, so why should he listen to them? Which is a bad position the country's in, to be honest. Connecticut sees Democratic sweep in 29 towns that flip from GOP to Democrats. This is a big deal. 29 towns flip from Republican to Democrat, and 102 towns in the state are now led by Democrats. And this is in Connecticut, so this is a big deal. Republicans, a Republican was ousted from a mayoral seat in a bureau that borough. Thank you. Fucking those two words, they fucked me up. The GOP has held that seat for 113 years. So
cool.
So yeah, that was in Pennsylvania. No more of that.
By the way, apparently the Republican incumbent for this mayoral seat has been in the role since 2004, and the guy before him was there from 1946 to 2004, which is insane to me.
That is absolutely nuts. He's like, I'm gonna die in this seat. Like,
he probably did.
He probably did. I ain't leaving. Like, all right, cool, man. In Cincinnati, JD Vance's half brother got his ass whipped. He lost 78-22 against Ofteb Perevel, who's a Democrat. So yeah, he was considered a long shot bid, but he also had the backing of the vice president and only got 22% of the vote. So, the Democrat was already the incumbent, obviously, but still, to only get 22% of the vote when your half brother is the fucking vice president is pretty pathetic.
Dude, I am a white man, but even I don't have the hubris to be a white man. It's like, I should be mayor of Cincinnati. Why? Just because my brother is the vice president.
That's it. Yeah. Just let me do it, guys. Just fucking let me do it. Stop being jerks. And they were like, nah, we're good. So yeah, Democrats ran the fucking board. Wonderful.
Yeah.
By the way, just a couple of things. First black woman, Democrat, first black woman, mayor of Detroit. Democrats broke up and ended the supermajority in Mississippi by winning, I think, three seats. Yeah, there's like still stories coming in, like of just these like little races that we didn't, just weren't on our radar. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
And look, you could say, oh, this isn't a referendum on Trump and stuff like that. People are pissed. People are legitimately pissed, and they don't like the way the country's going. Trump is underwater in every metric at this point, like as far as surveys go. And, more importantly, people are not just pissed, but people are voting for something. And I think that matters. You saw that in New York especially. And one last thing I was going to say is there is quite a large amount of people. It's not that, Democratic turnout was big, right? Like little d Democrat was big. However, a lot of conservatives flipped over. And that was actually a bigger story than I think is getting reported. A lot of people were like, yo, I'm fucking out. Like I deeply regret it. Like you said, you saw 30 and 40 point swings in Latino districts. A lot of those are, big MAGA country. And those people realize like, no, this is fucked up. So keep going the way you're going, I guess. We'll see you in the fucking midterms.
Yeah. And again, like I understand Republicans trying to put on a front, being like, it's no big deal. Like, yeah, blue candidates won in blue cities, big surprise, yada, yada, yada. Rest assured, behind closed doors, they are probably shitting their fucking pants right now, seeing
yes,
just how thoroughly they got their fucking asses kicked. And again, actually, we'll talk about we're going to talk about the shutdown later, but I thought it was really interesting that literally couldn't even wait till the next morning. Literally the night the elections were going on, as the results were coming in and as winners were being projected, Donald Trump was out here being like, hey, like the two reasons we lost is because I wasn't on the ballot and because voters are blaming Republicans for the shutdown. And I was just like, I'm glad someone didn't take Peepaw's phone away from him tonight, because that's fucking hilarious that he is blaming the Republicans for the shutdown. And in the 2 days prior, like prior to the election, Trump was doing like, oh, like talk to the Democrats. They're the ones who shut down the government. He hasn't been saying that. Like the Republicans are still trying to continue to talk that line. But apparently, like behind closed, yesterday he had a behind closed doors meeting with Republican senators, some of which was broadcast on TV and some of which was not. And he talking about the shutdown, he was encouraging them, like, we need to do something about this, and like was apparently like yelling at Lindsey Graham because Lindsey Graham was trying to like push back on him and shit like that. And there was news that there are a handful of Democrats in the Senate who are considering flipping their votes if they get an assurance from the GOP to have a vote on like the ACA, credits coming back in. But to them, I would say again, like, look at what happened on Tuesday. Like you literally have not had a stronger hand throughout this entire process, where Democrats have had a pretty fucking strong hand the entire time. Like, do not cave. The pressure is not on you.
No, it's not. And look, here's the thing. The pressure is building on Republicans. I suggested on the preview episode for Black and Black Cinema, the way you fix this is to have the air traffic controllers walk off the jump. Them and the TSA walk off the jump. Shut down every airport completely.
Yes, actually, do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, exactly. That was exactly my exactly my argument. Right? But you don't walk off right at Thanksgiving, because then like you get blowback on you as the person, right? Like, you don't do that. You tell them. You have until you start getting in the week. You even give them a week and a half. Fly your asses back to where you need to be. We'll be working during that time. You have a week and a half. And if you do not solve this in a week and a half, we're going to walk off the job. because we're tired. And you don't just say that in a typed letter. You do a press conference. You do a press conference. You don't have to have the individuals there, but you have their lawyer come out, they represent them and say, hey, listen, for all the, all of these guys, the ATCs, like they have agreed that if things are not resolved and pay is not put back and staff is not brought back and all this other shit, in a week and a half, they're done. I guarantee you Republicans will fly their asses back to DC and they will work out a fucking deal. And all Democrats have to do is go, well, do you want to have the airports closed during Thanksgiving? Give me what I want. That's it. Mm-hmm. Just don't break. And here's the thing. They're either going to play ball or they're not. And if they don't play ball and Thanksgiving gets fucking ruined, who do you think they're going to blame? They're not going to blame Democrats. They're not. They're going to blame the guys who have all three branches. All the news, sort of corporate media, double speaking, all that doesn't matter because people don't understand, most Americans don't understand the nuance of government or politics at all. All they know is we know who's president and we know who controls Congress. And some of them don't even know who controls Congress. They know who the president is. That's all that matters. And so they're going to just blame him when they can't get to their flights. You can look at the airports, they're already fucked. They're already
fucked. And here's two problems that the Republicans have. Number one, the dude that leads their party is the guy who likes to take credit solely for everything all the time. Exactly. So that kind of backfires on you when you need to blame somebody else. And we're like, no, I thought you said you were the guy in charge. Like this is the guy you do it all. Yeah. Like you have Democrats out going on shows this week talking to hosts, and they're just like, look, they're like, Donald Trump runs the party. He's made that very clear. Mike Johnson doesn't know what the fuck is going on, so we need to talk to Donald Trump. That's the bottom line of this stuff. That's number one. Number two, the other reason the Democrats have Woody Hand, and we said this last week, and I'll say it again, is because of what they're holding out for. They're not holding out for some dumb bullshit. They're holding out to make sure that people have health care.
Yep.
That's a winning message with the American public. I don't want to lose my health care. I think Democrats should hold out. I mean, we hear stories about premiums, that are coming in for November that are tripling, if not more in some cases, basically by a lot of people who have Obamacare because of the credits that they ripped out when they passed their tax bill. So I feel like that a lot of American people will be like, that's a good reason to hold out for stuff like this.
And look, this is the fight. This is the fight for real, right? There is no bullshit. This is not on some trivial shit. This is the real fight. And unfortunately, people's SNAP benefits are going to be a part of this fight. I mean, they already are, right? And there are sacrifices that are going to have to be made, right? We're going to have to fucking cinch our belts, help each other out and all this other shit. But that fight is worth taking. The biggest issue here, though, is if you can just keep your coalition, and it seems like, Democrats have been pretty impressive. They have not budged. They're just like, nope, you said you're going to shoot the hostage? We fucking dare you to do it. But if they can just hold to that, shut down the airports, man. It's the biggest thing because it's such a visual for people, yo. It's such a visual, you can hate Joe Biden all you want. You can hate Barack Obama all you want. You know what you never had a problem doing? Taking a plane and flying fucking anywhere during that time. If you all of a sudden on one of the biggest travel days, probably the biggest travel day,
it is
a week of the year, and suddenly the airports are fucking locked up and no flights are going out, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. People are going to lose it on Donald Trump and the Republicans. They're going to fucking be pissed. And guess who else is going to call before it even gets there? Corporations. I can't fly my plane to my different fucking business meetings or whatever. Fix it. That's what you're going to get. Those are the phone calls you're going to get. By the way, you want to go to Mar-a-Lago? How are you getting there? You think just because you're the president, you're just going to fly? You want to fly without fucking air traffic controllers working? I wouldn't. It seems like a bad fucking idea, right? So, no, just stand down. Them and the TSA, stand down. Because if you got the air traffic controllers, they can be like, oh, well, we got some people to come in, and they try to get some scabs maybe. super dangerous because those people are like highly specific and
I
highly.
was about to say, sure would be cool if we had an air traffic controllers union, huh?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Funny that, but like those guys walk, and so you don't have anybody. You have nobody handling the planes once they're in the air, and then the TSA walks. Then you don't have anybody scanning to make sure you're not carrying bombs and shit in your bags. Those two groups walk. They will fix this shit. They'll fix it. Like, do you already have TSA members who walked off the job? There was a report today that come next week, 100, roughly 100 ATCs are ready to walk off the job. They're shutting down towers in airports right now. And
we might as well get into that story since we're here.
Yeah. Go
so the FAA announced this week that they're going to be reducing flight capacity by 10% at 40 airports across the country, which is going to amount to literally thousands of flights per day. And that will have started by the time you're listening to this episode.
And you know what? Let me run down the list just so it's clear. Anchorage International, Baltimore Washington International, sad. Boston Logan, Charlotte Douglas, Chicago Midway, O'Hare, Cincinnati North Kentucky, Dallas Fort Worth, Dallas Love Field, Denver International, Detroit Metropolitan, Wayne County, Fort Lauderdale Hollywood, George Bush Houston.
I mean, it's all the ones you would expect it to be.
Yeah, these are all the big ones. LaGuardia, JFK, right? Those are big international airports.
Yep, Orlando, Philly, Reagan.
Yeah.
Oh, but not Dulles, surprisingly. So go to Dulles and have a miserable time. Fucking hate Dulles. Oh no, Dulles is on there. It's at the bottom of the list. Sorry, missed that.
Yep,
there it is.
So and Ronald Reagan and Reagan National. You can't get into DC or Baltimore. You're fucked. That's it. You're stuck, right? So best of luck, politicians. Like, I don't know where you flying into. So can't even fly into Philly. So LAX, all this. This is a big deal, and I don't know if you've seen the videos from the airports over the last couple of days.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. I would be so mad.
And not just videos, but also just like, on podcasts that I listen to, a couple podcasts I listen to have been doing travel recently, and they've run into situations where they've either, gotten stuck at the airport for several hours because, flights get delayed, or just kind of like how hectic it is right now. I have a couple of my colleagues are going to be traveling next week, so I'm curious to see what those stories look like. I can't imagine it's going to be fucking pleasant, but yeah, it's again, to your point, this shit didn't happen when Democrats were president.
Shit, it didn't even happen when Republicans were president. Other ones. Like, it didn't happen.
Yeah, true.
Look, flights were only grounded for so long after 9/11. It certainly wasn't as bad as this. Quite literally. So yeah, I mean, this is the solution. Shut down the airports. It's the lifeblood of not just intra-country travel, but it's also a problem for international travel, right? People coming into the country and, Americans leaving. And more importantly, it's also a problem for shipping, right? Never forget that, UPS and FedEx, they all fly planes around, right? You're not ordering that, you're not ordering that dildo set from adamandeve.com and getting it to your house the next day, like on a truck. No, they fly it, right? So I guess. But like, that's the truth too. Like, if you want those things, those are all coming by plane. So they're not going to suddenly be able to just flip on a dime and say, all right, we're going to switch that to trains, switch that to trucks. They're not going to
they don't have commercial air traffic controllers and people.
Like consumer ones. Yeah.
Right.
That's definitely not a thing. So this has a trickle down effect. So again, this is Jay's move of how do you fix this? Yeah, just shut the airports down.
Again, we've been saying it for years. People have to feel pain to understand what they have brought upon themselves. So it's the only way you're going to get them to stop doing it in the future.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, as you say that, the more I think, yeah, keep it shut down over Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you keep it shut down over Thanksgiving, people are going to be like, yo, I was upset. Now I'm fucking pissed. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Like I said, the elections have been like the elections this week were a very inspiring sign for me because again, like look at how much has happened in just 10 months.
Yep. Imagine three
and
more.
Look how bad it's gotten. Right. Yeah. And imagine 3 more years of this shit. So
everything feels like, I mean, when I saw the airport shit and, couple that against the news in general, everything is just failing. All the systems are failing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is running particularly smooth. And then you have the election on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's because as soon as they fucking got in, it's like they fucking opened up the fucking panel and just ripped a shitload of wires out. And they're like, no wonder shit's not working correctly.
Oh, the government's been shut down for like 37 days. I haven't noticed any differences. You haven't noticed any differences? Are you sure about this? Smash cut to video feeds from the airports and people screaming at each other and being like, I've been here for 7 hours. Welcome to the fucking federal government. This is a part of their job. But it's not that hard to understand. In good news, Dick Cheney is dead. That's it.
On election day, no less. What a great thing to wake up to.
Yeah. I feel like maybe like Andrew Cuomo's campaign was where Dick Cheney stored his last Horcrux, and when that officially died, he died, which is cool. I mean, look, things are so bad that people aren't celebrating Dick Cheney's death enough for me. Like, enough for me. You know what I mean?
It's because things are so bad that somehow like Dick Cheney's image has been like, I'm not going to say rehabilitated, but like back then we were just like, surely like there will be no greater monster in U.S. politics than Dick Cheney. And then Donald Trump came along with his cadre of fucking hooligans, and we're just like, oh, like Dick Cheney was definitely a monster, but he was a monster in like the normal like Washington political, like in the way that Kissinger was a monster. Like we understand that, but like this guy, it's fucking crazy. So like, it upsets me that Dick Cheney's death was not given, like you said, people weren't celebrating it with the same gusto that they might normally.
Yeah. I was a bit upset by that. I was like, oh, Dick Cheney died. I feel like I should feel stronger about this. I'm disappointed in me. I let myself down.
I mean, it doesn't help us that even he has come out pretty strongly against Donald Trump. And
he supported Kamala Harris.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ, it's that bad. I wanted to celebrate more. That sucks. And the funny thing is, like, I don't think I would I don't think I would have any more additional joy out of like George W. Bush died. I'd be like, he's dead.
Yeah.
Trump, on the other hand,
it's gonna be an all day crap. Now that being said, I do think it is very important to just get it out there that Dick Cheney, the thing like the war that he pretty much helped propagate and drove forward, was responsible for literally millions of people being killed, tens of millions more being displaced.
Yes.
And is one of the big reasons that we are in this, military industrial complexification of U.S. expenditure. Because this was the thing that really spun, again, me, I don't give a fuck about the national debt. It doesn't fucking matter to me. But for the people that do care, the war in Iraq was absolutely what really the thing that got the ball rolling on just the massive inflation of military expenditure in this country. And you can absolutely directly tie that back to Dick Cheney, who was basically the dude that was running the show in the Bush White House.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. Yeah, I mean, we're on par at this point to have $1 trillion military budget. You know what I mean? And that is very much in part because of him and George W. Bush's behaviors during their tenure. Yeah, no, I just feel like young people just don't know how bad Dick Cheney was. Like it just
no. I mean, I'm sure they've heard stories, but again, you had to fucking be there.
You had to be there.
Again, like the most famous Dick Cheney story is that he accidentally shot one of his friends in the face on a hunting trip, and the friend that he shot apologized to Dick Cheney.
Yes, those guys were fucking drunk. Okay, like spoiler alert, they were super drunk, and Dick Cheney was like, bah, bah, bam, and then shot him. That was my Dick Cheney impression. Then he went on TV and was like, "I'm sorry that my face
was in the way of the bullet."
Yeah. And Dick Cheney was like, "Yeah, I accept your apology." Yeah, Dick Cheney. I mean, the thing with Dick Cheney is he was an incredibly evil person, but also incredibly smart and politically extremely savvy. Somehow that guy was able to maneuver in a way that just, I mean, it's evil that is impressive, right? Like it's just like legitimately impressive, especially having like other idiots around him, like, you know, Paul Wolfowitz and Rumsfeld and all those guys who were kind of like bumbling, stumbling lunatics, but also evil. Like he was just as evil as they were, if not worse. And well, definitely worse, but he was also incredibly smart where they were not nearly as sharp as he was. I'm glad he's dead. That's great. Heaven was not missing an angel. So this is fine. But yeah, I wish I was just more, I wish I felt a little bit happier about it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Don't worry. Well, I'm sure we'll have plenty of Republican ghouls that will die in the next couple of years. So we have a lot to look forward to. Look, I mean, Mitch McConnell's on death's door every day. It feels like like every other week he's fucking falling down and.
But even him,
no, I will have a lot to celebrate when fucking Mitch.
I'm gonna hold you to that because I feel like there's so much I feel like so much air is sucked out of the room from that shitbag on wheels, Donald Trump, that it just. I got all my hate eggs in one gold-plated basket.
But Mitch McConnell is arguably the biggest reason why we got here.
100%.
So he is not just because he happens to have risen above like the fray to some extent to where he's like joined the Murkowski-Collins group of voting against.
He's trying to get into heaven. That's how you know he believes in. He's trying desperately. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to enjoy it, but I don't. I got all my eggs in that gold basket, man. I'm all in. It like Trump, Rudy Giuliani. Like that's a really good one for me.
Giuliani dying will just be funny. Like it won't. Like I don't know that I'll celebrate it.
He'll probably fall down and die. Like it
but
will be
like finally this fucking guy.
Yeah. So yeah, Trump is the big one. Trump's the big one. So 5 to 6 months. Thank you for your attention in this matter. So like, shouldn't be long.
By the way, did you see? Because she's not on the docket, but we have to talk about it because whenever she comes up and is doing her batshit crazy shit. Did you see that like Nancy Mace is using that as her like sign off to her tweets of God? She like I said, has there ever been a bigger pick me in Congress ever?
I don't think so. And that's including Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. Like that's how bad Nancy Mace is. Like she surpasses them. No, she sucks. She absolutely sucks. Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.